Hello and welcome to the first episode of Lore Battles, where we're going to be examining and, as far as possible, recreating, simulating, and visualizing the important or even hypothetical Star Wars battles. This will mostly be done with the games Empire at War and Sins of a Solar Empire, but depending on how things go, it would be cool to eventually progress into other CG options as well, since game mechanics can only represent these conflicts so well. This is also something where I'll do my best to develop additional 3D models for the battles and expand the scope of what we're able to do. Today's topic is the Battle of Typhera, the climactic battle from X-Wing the Bacta War. This battle, which occurred 7 years after the Battle of Yavin, or ABY, represented the climax of the conflict between Wedge Antilles' Rogue Squadron and Ysanne Isard's puppet government on the planet Typhera, where she was running a racket with the galaxy's supplies of Bacta while the New Republic struggled to treat the Krytos virus, an alien targeting virus unleashed by scientists within the Empire to sow discord between the humans and non-humans within the New Republic. Our main focus will be on the events at Typhera itself. However, there was a prelude to this battle at Yag Dal, which played a significant role in the outcome at Typhera, so we'll start with a bit of quick background on that. Yag Dal, which had been the home base to Rogue Squadron, where they stationed themselves at an Empress-class space station. Prior to the battle, a mole within Talon Karrde's smuggler organization, which was working with Rogue Squadron, leaked the location of the base to Isard's forces. This prompted an assault on the base by Captain Joach Dryso of the Executor-class Star Dreadnought Lusankya and the Star Destroyer Virulence. This had been a setup by Wedge's allies, and a gravity well projector that had been installed in the station was used on the Executor, keeping it out of range. The station also locked over 300 proton torpedo and concussion missile launchers onto the Lusankya. The Virulence positioned itself between the Lusankya and the Empress, breaking the lock and theoretically protecting the Executor class from the proton torpedoes, allowing the Lusankya to flee to Typhera, following the assault force the Imperials thought they had seen leaving for the planet. Once at Typhera, the Lusankya was met with not the ongoing rebel assault they'd been expecting, but the Star Destroyer Avarice under the command of Captain Ser Yonka. Yonka had been part of Isard's core fleet, but he had seen the writing on the wall for Isard's downfall and been bribed by Wedge into fighting on the side of the New Republic, having rechristened Avarice as Freedom. There was also an old Alderaanian cruiser, Valiant, which, along with Freedom, the Imperials thought made up the entire rebel force at this point. I don't have an exact asset for the Alderaanian cruiser, so it's going to be represented in this video with a Corellian corvette. As the initial phases of the battle began, between Lusankya and the Typheran Home Defense Corps on one side, and Rogue Squadron with other allied starfighters, Freedom and Valiant on the other, Dryso was confident the Empire would emerge victorious. However, as Yonka's Freedom bravely engaged the Lusankya from close range, hoping to limit its ability to concentrate fire on the smaller Star Destroyer, and the Valiant harassed the Lusankya's engines, Lusankya once again noticed dozens of torpedoes locked onto them. While some targeting systems had been installed on the Empress at Yag Dal, that had simply been a ruse. The real munitions had in fact been installed on dozens of freighters, which were now unleashing their full payload onto Lusankya. These freighters were of course all of various types, however here we're representing them all with the classic YT-1300. This situation, while doing real damage to the Lusankya, was basically also putting the New Republic snub fighters through a meat grinder and battering away at Freedom. The final turn in the battle came with the sudden arrival of the Virulence near the prow of the Lusankya. At first this disheartened the New Republic, believing it to be Imperial reinforcements, until a smuggler Booster Terek, who had been running the Yag Dal station's underground operations and leading the prior confrontation with the Lusankya, announced that he had commandeered the vessel and was here with further reinforcements for the New Republic's side. As the battle was quickly evolving in favor of the New Republic, Ysanne Isard stole the personal shuttle of Moff Fleary Voru, leaving him to be captured by the New Republic and making her own escape, ordering the beleaguered Lusankya to cover her. Despite her attempt to flee, Isard was caught and presumed destroyed by the pilots of Rogue Squadron, although she had actually somehow escaped death. Captain Dryso, now giving himself impromptu promotions to the rank of Admiral and even Grand Admiral, refused to surrender, threatening to run the Lusankya into the planet. During a communication with Wedge Antilles, however, he was unceremoniously deposed and usurped by acting Captain Warrowan, who, on behalf of the crew, surrendered the ship to the New Republic and worked with them to prevent the impending collision of the ship with the planet. Now resolved, the battle had many important results. First, it was the end of the Imperial control of Bacta supplies and the end of Isard's power within the Empire, save for the events of X-Wing Isard's Revenge. Secondly, it was the first capture of a Super Star Destroyer by the New Republic, although it would not be the last. The Lusankya was actually initially just used as a medical research facility by the New Republic. However, following the events of Shadowhand and the change in the New Republic's fleet doctrine, which we've talked about a few weeks ago, Wedge Antilles would take command of the ship, and it would serve with distinction in the New Republic's navy until Operation Emperor's Spear during the Yuuzhan Vong War. In this operation, the Lusankya was used to ram and destroy Yuuzhan Vong world ship, annihilating itself in the process. Booster Tarek was also allowed to keep the Virulence, which he renamed the Errant Venture and turned into a huge mobile smuggler's paradise, although most of the weapons were purchased by the New Republic and used to repair the Freedom. That's going to do it for our first Lore Battles episode. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I think the series has a lot of potential to show off a lot of cool things, but it's definitely going to be a learning process to find what works and what doesn't, and it should also improve as we improve the graphical fidelity and flexibility of Ascendancy, Fall of the Republic, and Thrones Revenge Imperial Civil War, the primary mod we'll be using for the series. If there are any battles you want to see covered, please leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.